What if the biggest difference between success and failure isn't talent, luck, or opportunity, but simply what you choose to believe about yourself? Chapter 5 of Think and Grow Rich, titled The Power of Faith, explores one of the most powerful and often underestimated forces in human life, belief. Napoleon Hill explains that faith is not something mystical or reserved for religious contexts alone. Rather, it is a mental state that can be deliberately cultivated and used as a practical tool for achieving success. According to Hill, every great achievement begins as a thought, but thoughts alone are weak unless they are backed by belief. Faith acts as the emotional fuel that transforms ordinary thoughts into powerful forces capable of influencing actions, habits, and ultimately results. Without faith, even the best ideas remain unrealized. With faith, even seemingly impossible goals begin to feel attainable. Hill emphasizes that the human mind operates in a way where repeated thoughts, especially those combined with strong emotions, eventually become accepted as truth by the subconscious mind. This process is known as autosuggestion. The subconscious mind does not have the ability to distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what it is repeatedly told. This means that if a person constantly feeds their mind with thoughts of success, confidence, and achievement, those thoughts begin to shape their behavior and decisions in alignment with those beliefs. On the other hand, if someone continuously entertains fear, doubt, or negativity, those too become embedded in the subconscious and manifest as hesitation, insecurity, and failure. One of the most striking ideas in this chapter is that faith and fear are essentially two sides of the same coin. Both are forms of belief, but they lead to opposite outcomes. Faith is belief in positive outcomes, while fear is belief in negative outcomes. The mind does not differentiate between them in terms of influence. Whichever is stronger will dominate a person's actions. This means that success is not just about developing faith but also about consciously eliminating fear. Hill suggests that many people unknowingly sabotage themselves because they allow fear to occupy their minds more frequently than faith. This creates a self-fulfilling prophecy where they expect failure and therefore behave in ways that lead to it. Another important concept introduced in this chapter is that faith is not something you either have or don't have, it is something you build. Hill explains that faith develops through repetition. By repeatedly affirming a goal, visualizing success, and attaching strong emotions to those thoughts, a person gradually conditions their mind to believe in that outcome. Over time, this belief becomes so strong that it influences every action they take. This is why highly successful individuals often appear confident and certain even before they achieve their goals. Their faith has already convinced them that success is inevitable. To understand how to apply this principle in real life, it is important to break it down into practical steps. The first step is to clearly define what you want. Vague desires do not create strong beliefs. You must have a specific goal that you can focus on. Once you have that goal, the next step is to write it down in clear and concise language. This written statement acts as a constant reminder and helps you focus your thoughts. However, simply writing a goal is not enough. You must also read it daily, preferably twice a day, once in the morning and once before going to sleep. This repetition is crucial because it is what begins to influence the subconscious mind. The next step is to add emotion to your thoughts. Hill repeatedly emphasizes that emotion is what gives thoughts their power. When you read your goal, you should not do it mechanically or without feeling. Instead, you should imagine what it would feel like to achieve that goal. Visualize the details, experience the excitement, and allow yourself to feel the emotions associated with success. This emotional intensity helps to embed the belief more deeply into your subconscious mind. Over time, this practice begins to change how you perceive yourself and your capabilities. Another important part of applying this principle is controlling your mental environment. Since the subconscious mind absorbs whatever it is exposed to repeatedly, it is essential to limit negative influences. This includes negative self-talk, pessimistic people, and discouraging information. Instead, you should surround yourself with positive inputs such as motivational content, supportive individuals, and success-oriented ideas. This creates a mental atmosphere that supports the development of faith rather than undermining it. Consistency is also a critical factor in building faith. Many people start with enthusiasm but give up when they do not see immediate results. Hill makes it clear that the process of influencing the subconscious mind takes time. Just as habits are formed through repeated actions, beliefs are formed through repeated thoughts. Missing a day or two is not the problem, the real issue is inconsistency over a long period. To truly develop faith, you must commit to the process and continue even when it feels ineffective at first. Eventually, the repetition begins to take effect, and the belief becomes stronger. Another practical technique is visualization. This involves creating a mental image of your desired outcome and revisiting it regularly. Visualization works because the brain responds to imagined experiences in ways similar to real experiences. When you consistently visualize success, your mind begins to treat it as a familiar and achievable reality. This reduces fear and increases confidence, making it easier to take action in alignment with your goals. It is also important to understand that faith alone is not enough, it must be accompanied by action. Belief without action leads to stagnation, while action without belief leads to inconsistency. The combination of both creates momentum. When you truly believe in your goal, you are more likely to take persistent and focused action. This, in turn, produces results, which further strengthen your belief. This creates a positive cycle where belief and action reinforce each other. Hill also highlights the importance of self-confidence as a byproduct of faith. When you consistently practice autosuggestion and develop strong beliefs, you naturally become more confident in your abilities. This confidence is not based on external validation but on internal certainty. It allows you to face challenges, take risks, and persist in the face of obstacles. In contrast, a lack of faith leads to self-doubt, hesitation, and avoidance of challenges. The chapter also touches on the idea that the mind is highly suggestible, especially when influenced by strong emotions such as love, enthusiasm, and desire. By deliberately associating these emotions with your goals, you can accelerate the process of building faith. For example, if you feel genuinely excited and passionate about your goal, it becomes easier to believe in it. This is why people who are deeply passionate about their ambitions often achieve extraordinary results. They are not just thinking about their goals, they are emotionally invested in them. One of the deeper insights from this chapter is that belief shapes perception. When you believe something strongly, you begin to notice opportunities, resources, and solutions that align with that belief. At the same time, you may overlook or ignore information that contradicts it. This selective perception can work in your favor if your beliefs are positive and constructive. It helps you stay focused and motivated even in difficult situations. In the final analysis, the most important lesson from this chapter is that your life is largely shaped by the beliefs you hold. These beliefs influence your thoughts, which influence your actions, which ultimately determine your results. By consciously choosing and reinforcing positive beliefs, you can take control of this process and direct it toward success. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges do not exist. It is about choosing to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. The reason this principle is so important is that it gives you control over one of the most fundamental aspects of your life, your mindset. External circumstances are often unpredictable and beyond your control, but your beliefs are something you can influence directly. By mastering your beliefs, you gain the ability to remain focused, motivated, and resilient regardless of the situation. This not only increases your chances of success but also improves your overall quality of life. Ultimately, the power of faith lies in its ability to transform potential into reality. It bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, even the best plans and opportunities may go unused. With it, ordinary individuals can achieve extraordinary results. That is why understanding and applying this principle is not just useful. It is essential for anyone who wants to grow, succeed, and create a meaningful life. What I realized is that most people don't fail because they lack talent, they fail because they don't believe in themselves. So tell me, do you believe in your dream, or are you secretly doubting yourself?